Welcome, everybody. Thank you so much for coming this morning. I will just say that, yay, our wonderful careers in travel look like they're going to be taking off again. And with all the exciting news about the flights getting brought forward and no quarantine and all those sort of things, certainly for New South Wales and Victoria, it's awesome. And now don't worry, Queensland, WA, South Australia, Northern Territory, Tassie and New Zealand, you guys will be with us really, really soon. We'll just start early and iron out all those little travel things that come up, because we know it will be a little bit like that at the start. And it's working out all those details that is going to make you guys so essential, not only for that amazing information and knowledge base you've got, but now for all those little bits and pieces like CPR testing and different visas and requirements. What we are going to be looking at now is Kentucky and the South. So we have done so much in the South already. Our first stop was Southern cuisine, and then we went out and visited some of the national parks and seashores and heard about the music that grew from the South, ate barbecue and learned about the civil rights movement, explored the highways and byways, and also looked at adventure. But we've still got a couple more to come. We've got two more. We're heading to the Ozark Mountains next month, and we are then going to be looking at Missouri just after that. Our next episode is going to be the stunning natural wonders of the South, with a little bit of a focus on the Ozarks and the mountains and lakes area. Now, there's a lot of television shows about the Ozarks, so people might be more familiar with the name, but it is a really spectacular place to head out there and visit. So that'll be Wednesday, the 24th of November, 10 a.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Saving Time, Sydney time, Victoria, and New South Wales time, and 9 a.m. there in Queensland, and 12 o'clock over there in New Zealand. And as you all know, my name is Penny. I'm your Travel South account manager. And today, episode 8, we are looking at Southern Spectator sports and the Kentucky horse racing. Because I know most of you will have heard of the Kentucky Derby, but there is plenty of heart-thumping action in the South. So let's take a look at what there is on offer. First stop, we are heading to Missouri, and this is a huge sporting state. They've got 3 major league teams, the Kansas City Chiefs in the National Football League, the St. Louis Cardinals baseball, as well as the St. Louis Blues in the ice hockey. You guessed it, they're based out of St. Louis, and the team has been in the National Hockey League since 1967. There's an Australian, Daniel Walker, who plays on the team, and that really draws huge crowds throughout the season. I've been to an ice hockey game before, and the pace is so fast that you end up turning your head from left to right every few seconds. So be prepared for a bit of whiplash in all that excitement. And now we're going to head to Arkansas, because it's a little bit more grassroots with its spectator sports. The University of Arkansas's Razorbacks athletic team compete in every single sport under the sun: football, basketball, baseball, volleyball, golf, track, cross country, gymnastics, swimming. There's literally loads, but the main attractions are the football and basketball in the 2 stadiums there at the University of Arkansas. So a lot of fun there. But biking is also a huge draw card for the state, with world-class terrains spanning the state, and among their trails are the famous Oz Trails in the north, with over 480 kilometres of exceptional single-track biking in the northwest Arkansas. It's the epicenter is a little town called Bentonville, well known for its thriving bike culture and infrastructure. And it's also acclaimed as the mountain bike capital of the world. Next, we are going to head to Louisiana. And whether you like to get out on the field in a friendly ball game, swing the clubs on a beautiful golf course, or soak up the sports actions from the excitement of a stadium seat, there's plenty of options here. You can check out the fabulous golf courses or the schedules for college, semi-pro, and the pro sports teams. Louisiana is home to 2 major league teams. So if you enjoy NBA, you can take a seat at the Smoothie King Center as the Pelicans take the floor. And for professional football, the world champions, the New Orleans Saints. So Louisiana has got all of this going for it right down there in New Orleans, which will always be on the list of places when you head through that state for a bit of exploring. Next, we are going to head to Mississippi, and the college football game days at Mississippi State University are a tradition that the locals love. Experience a tailgate party at any of the college football games, and they have a passion for the party. So Saturdays in the South are often planned around football schedules from September to November. Teams may win or lose games, but Mississippi always triumphs at their famous tailgating party, which is where the whole car park is taken up by these, parties and tents and all these fabulous things for them to really celebrate the love of their football. But it's the world-class sport fishing that's a highlight in Mississippi. There's freshwater fishing in public lakes to saltwater fishing off the Gulf Coast. Mississippi offers endless excitement for the avid angler. So whether you're in it for the sport or looking for some tasty eats, there are loads of top fishing spots to hit to catch the fish of the day in Mississippi. And in sweet home Alabama, there's nothing like the adrenaline pumping, buzzer beating feeling that you get when you're watching your favorite team. Legends are celebrated, and it's not just on the court or on the field. Individual and team sports, golf, motorsports, soccer, and cycling all find a competitive home here. It's home for the sporting game, and you could stay after for the post-game celebration. So the minor league baseball teams or drivers on NASCAR's biggest tracks, there are lots of favourite sporting experiences in Alabama. And one of them is for motorsports enthusiasts, and that is their Yellowwood 500. It's a NASCAR Cup Series stock race, and it's the super speedway there in Lincoln, Alabama. The race is one of the 4 NASCAR Cup Series, so definitely worth popping on the list for all those racing car fans. Tennessee, they love to fill up a stadium, and they leave you with no voice for days with your screaming and the photo finishes, and where all the excitement makes you jump out of your seat. In Tennessee, it's not just a feeling, it's something lives are centered around. With the basketball team, the Memphis Grizzlies, the National Hockey League, Nashville Predators, the Major League Soccer team, Nashville FC, and baseball team, Nashville Sound. They also are home to the Tennessee Titans, one of 32 teams participating in the National Football League. In 1999, the team moved to a 70,000-seat stadium, Nissan Stadium, on the east bank of the Cumberland River in downtown Nashville. So something to pop on your clients' list when they're heading there. And in North Carolina, they've also got basketball, ice hockey, and football going. But their big sporting event for 2022 is the President's Cup. It's hosted at Quail Hollows in North Carolina, and it's the world-class team competition, which is the 12 top players from the United States taking on the top 12 players from around the globe. Golf fans can expect an incredible atmosphere and unmatched access at the Quail Hollow Club. And this is on for September 20th to 25th in 22. For any sporting favourites and golfing fans, pop North Carolina on the list for next year, September 20 to 25. And they've also got a fabulous, huge, big stadium for the Hornets, their basketball team there at Spectrum Center. And in South Carolina, it's home to hundreds of tournaments like fishing, soccer, tennis, basketball, baseball, and rugby. It's also home to over 450 golf courses, including some of the most famous in the world. The state hosts many prestigious tournaments, with the PGA Championships held at Kiowa Island's famous ocean course in Charleston this year. And we are heading to West Virginia. And I know I mentioned it last month, but it's just so good. I couldn't just let it go at once because it's the third Saturday in October every year that the new River Gorge Bridge closes to traffic and opens to base jumpers, rappellers, and spectators, so they can share the excitement and the spectacle of Bridge Day. So definitely worth a watch, seeing those base jumpers plummet towards the new river at the bottom of the gorgeous gorge there. But West Virginia is also one of the few places in the South that gets quite a bit of snow during the winter. And that Snowshoe Mountain Resort is an outdoor adventures paradise. So at about 5,000 feet above sea level, they average about 5 meters of annual snowfall, which makes for a really great snowy experience. And a visit to Snowshoe means downhill skiing, snowboarding, terrain parks, and snowmobiling, which is one of the highlights when you get there. So last but not least today, everybody, we are going on to today's star of the show, Kentucky. So I am just going to share the experience of Kentucky.
Hi, my name is Amon Focus, avid traveler and unofficial Kentuckian. Today, I'm your guide to all things Kentucky. Beautiful rolling hills? Yep, that's us. Culinary and bourbon motherland? That's us too. Unique Southern culture that's one of a kind? You bet. If you think of Kentucky, you probably think of the Kentucky Derby, and that's okay with us. Kentucky is of course known for its thoroughbred horses and horse culture. We love all kinds of horses. Don't just take my word for it. Hear it from some fellow Aussies who've made their home here in the Bluegrass State.
I'm Elizabeth James.
G'day, I'm Dan James, and we run Double Dan Horsemanship here at our home base, the Australian Equine Performance Centre.
It's a great story with this farm because when we got married, looked at farms in Texas and Georgia, and Dan spent days on end looking at farms all across Kentucky. This farm was really a blessing. It's the perfect size for what we needed. It has a train track through it. I'm sure a lot of horse people shied away from that, and that was a huge blessing for us. We've had it for 3 years, and it's been quite an adventure. Neither of us have ever owned a farm before, so this was definitely a learning in progress.
As a young fellow back home in Australia, we grew up with mum and dad sort of working and managing a lot of cattle places, so we were always involved around horses. Teaching us that work ethic and that love and that for the horse has paid off. Look where we are.
When people ask what we do, I say a little bit of everything. Dan does clinics, he does lessons, he does horses in training, he does movies and pictures, photo shoots, things like that. So I always end up just telling people, you name it in the horse world, Dan probably does it, and we do it here at the farm.
The group of horses that we have here in the arena now, they're actually my main, what I would call Liberty team. So these horses have literally travelled all across America, Canada, they've toured all over Australia as well. And what's probably very unique about this set of horses is that there's very few actual teams of horses in the world right now that can do what this team does. Been featured in Vogue and Versace. One of the great horses has done shots with Jennifer Lawrence and other supermodels as well. So they're probably some of my proudest work, and what you're seeing kind of going on behind us here is a little bit of a warm-up.
Where there's smoke, there's fire. And in Kentucky, where there's horses, there's bourbon. Kentucky is where bourbon is born and where it's most definitely enjoyed. Bourbon here is a family business and a way of life. Here's a little bit about one of Kentucky's best-known bourbon distilleries. In fact, I'm going to pour myself a little taster while you all enjoy this video. Cheers.
My name is Baker Beam.
I'm Fred No.
My name is Freddie No.
I'm the 6th generation.
7th generation.
8th generation Beam distiller.
We've all been right here in central Kentucky for 225 years. We're passing it along from father to son from the very beginning with old Jacob, who started making whiskey back in 1795 up the road at Hardin Creek.
I was born and raised right here at the Beam plant here at Claremont. My dad started out from Barrel 1 here at the plant.
My family's been in the bourbon business since Kentucky was not a state, and the United States was just a baby of a country.
I'd say that it's just been natural to me. I didn't know anything else. I didn't know what in my time of a school that taught you how to make whiskey, but we did it, I guess you'd say, by the seat of our pants.
Growing up, I never got pressure to come into this business, so it's always been my choice. But I think when you grow up around a facility and a group of employees that embrace you as their family, as we do here at Beam, it makes it very easy to come to work here and continue on that tradition.
Wasn't that heartwarming? That put me in good spirits. Spirits, you see what I did there? Moving along. You can't come to the bluegrass state without experiencing bluegrass.
1, 2, 3.
Sound travels far and wide here in Kentucky, where bluegrass, country, rock and roll, and even jazz fill our hearts with homegrown happiness and the rhythms of country life. I'm Arthur Hancock here today backstage at Rudy Fest in Moorhead, Kentucky with Billy Renee Johnson, an amazing singer, songwriter, and band leader for Billy Renee and Cumberland Gap. Billy, I'm so glad to be with you today here at Rudy Fest.
Well, I'm glad to be able to sit down with you, Arthur.
How in the world did you start playing bluegrass music?
Oh gosh, the journey on this started about 21 years ago. Both my parents are musicians. So growing up, we always had musicians in and out of the house, but my dad always had a bluegrass band. And actually his first bluegrass band was called Cumberland Gap. So that's kind of how
where it comes from.
Our name originated. And so after I went down to Nashville and tried to do it in country music, try to make a go at it, I come back and I said, Dad, I believe I want to start a bluegrass band. And that's how Billy Renee and Cumberland Gap got started.
I want a great big Rudy Fest welcome to Miss Billy Renee and Cumberland Gap.
Was the bass your first instrument, or did you start out playing guitar? Or?
Actually, when I started in my band, I was standing and singing. And I had a couple of musicians, band members that said, you can't do that. You're not going to stand and pat your knee. So they put a bass in my hand. Actually, I had a pretty nice bass at the house that belonged to my dad, and that's the one that I learned on.
How's everybody doing, Rudy Fest?
How's it been balancing life and bluegrass? Because I know that's a challenge.
It is, because I have continued working a career in state government, and this is my 23rd year. And I've been traveling and singing for 22 of that. To be able to do it with my father, who has been by my side through this whole experience, I don't think I would ever go back and want to change the way I have done it.
What are some other places in Kentucky that you think are very important for bluegrass music?
Poppy Mountain is a big festival here held in September. It's a 4-day festival, and it's been going on too for 20 plus years. There's always a festival. There's always bluegrass music being played somewhere, whether it may be one of our local town festivals as well. You know, they'll bring in a couple. But as for a long couple of weeks of music back to back is right here on this hill that we're standing on right now.
Poppy Mountain.
Poppy Mountain.
Finally, I'd be remiss if I didn't at least warn you that the food in Kentucky is out of this world. What can I say about the food here? Kentucky is home to award-winning chefs who put new meaning to Southern comfort.
The main reason I cook is to make people happy. And I love the gratification of the whole process from start to finish, starting here with raw ingredients and ending here with a meal. Kentucky influences my cooking through ingredients, primarily through ingredients, but also through historic recipes. One of my favorite traditional dishes from Kentucky is a pan-fried rabbit. So we're starting with a local rabbit, and we'll wrap that loin in bacon, we'll pan roast that, and we have like a little sauce, and then we serve that with a mushroom barley and like slow-cooked cabbage. Cabbage and noodles or cabbage and sausage. Cabbage is a big side dish. One thing that makes Kentucky food really special for us as a culture is that it culture and Kentucky culture. Kentucky is incredibly beautiful. All we're worth that's unique to where we are. And it's this amazing intersection of history and bourbon culture and distilling culture and the horse industry and the thoroughbred culture, and they all intersect in rural Kentucky. My dream of cooking for a community and knowing the people at my tables, and there's no greater thing in life when you're a chef.
Doesn't that make you hungry? And this is only the beginning. There is still so much to discover, and Kentucky truly has something for everyone. If you want to learn more, head to KentuckyTourism.com to watch more of our original series and discover what Kentucky has waiting for you. Just one more. Now that's good bourbon.
Wow, how's that? It looks pretty fun, doesn't it? I was a bit blown away by how fun Kentucky sounded to me. One, I just love the accents. It just makes me smile so much. And, you know, I don't mind a bit of bourbon. Horses, yeah, I can definitely get there to have a look. So, yeah, that is Kentucky, everybody. Now, I've just got a quick question. Anita has said that she's done the Bourbon Trail and it was amazing. I guess the world will open up to bourbons other than just what we know, like Jim Beam being so famous here in Australia. And yet there is going to be there so much. That is all the questions that we have got right now. I am just going to say thank you again for coming, everybody. We've sort of hit the end. We've heard a little bit about all those wonderful spectator sports in the South. And as I mentioned, next up on the last Wednesday of November, Wednesday the 24th at 10 a.m. Australian Daylight Savings Time, 9 a.m. for non-daylight savings and noon for New Zealand. We have also got that natural wonders of the South, and that's going to be including amazing things like the Mammoth Caves, Kentucky, the Ozark Mountains, and just all of those things that really can blow your mind. I'm Penny Brand. Here are my details. If you do need anything, you can call me on the mobile, or you can check out industry at travelsouth.usa.com for more bits and pieces. Thanks so much for coming. I really appreciate it.